Welcome everybody to Tech Tuesday Talks on Tech Tuesday, whatever we're calling this. Tech Tuesday Talk. Tech Talk on Tuesday, whatever.
TikTok.
Triple T. Tuesday's Tech Talk. Anyways, I'm Johnny Mo. I'm here with my cohort Luigi Alvarez, the lucrative Lou, and we're going to be talking about some pretty awesome things. Luigi is an important important person in my world because he's able to help bring the digital vision that I have together and make it cohesive. And we're going to be talking about, and this is going to be a weekly thing. We're going to be talking about each week for a half hour, no more, about things that not just real estate agents, but professionals, anybody out there trying to do it, trying to get it, needs to take into consideration and the technologies that are out there so you can build a digital ecosystem that allows you to thrive. Sound good, Luigi?
Yeah, man, sounds really good, and I appreciate that. I'm
Yeah.
really excited to get started. A lot of changes in the last few years since I got into real estate. So I'm going to let you lead the way in this conversation, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. And so, what qualifies me or what qualifies Luigi to have these conversations? Because we pressed record and we went live. Okay. And so anybody can do it. But what truthfully, our experience is I was a network engineer during the 90s into the 2000s, watched Y2K happen, worked for a mammoth company. I was in charge of the interoperability of the headquarters. I had to make sure that the companies and everything worked, right? That they could get to the internet. Luigi comes from the digital world too because he was a data analyst, and I met him probably about 2016, 17, somewhere
Right
around
on,
there,
right on.
and we became friends. And I watch what he's doing, and he watched what I'm doing, and he he's able to bring, like I said, those pieces together because a lot of stuff that's happening now with AI, with automations and stuff like that, even Zapier can be it takes some time to sit there and analyze it and come up with it, right? Not everything's not a zap. I wish it was that easy, but sometimes you have to work out these integrations, and Luigi helps me with that, and that's why I say he's qualified, and I'm
I
qualified
appreciate
because I have the record button.
it. That's great.
But
Definitely. I mean, besides that, man, as a data analyst before I got into real estate, one of my automation, I actually automated myself out of my position. I turned my whole job into a button, and I handed it off to a junior, basically, and that's when I realized my worth as a person and or the worth that I was giving myself was a lot more than what the company was valuing me at, which really helped me move into real estate. So, but yeah, the automations were myself out of a job. I had one process that saved the company about 300,000 over 3 years. I believe they're still using that process, and it's been 6 years since then. So, you know what I mean. Um, it's for me, systems and systems thinking has it's been what's made the difference for me in real estate because I have ADHD. You know that, and if I cannot organize it in my mind, it's very difficult to keep up, especially when dealing with, anything more than 5 transactions a month, brain dead. It was
oh,
difficult.
5 transactions a month, if you're doing it right, you're hauling ass.
And literally, like, I forgot who, I think it was uh, Sirhan. So he talked about juggling all the balls, and you got to keep them up because if you drop one, I mean, that's ramping up is difficult, dude. Like getting started from nothing, which is what I just came, is hard. And I think that kind of ties into what we're going to be talking today about, like branding and things like that, right?
Yeah, and let's talk about that because it's, I think the most important thing that anybody can be doing as a professional, as a real estate agent, because a lot of who we work with is real estate agents. We're both in the industry. Um, and I think is building your brand. Have heard over the years that you're the brand, you're the brand, you're the brand. I don't agree with that message. right? You're the face of the brand, but why hold yourself to an individual? Your brand can be bigger. For instance, I'm Explore Maine Life. I'm Explore New Hampshire Life. I can build these ecosystems up into something more than an individual could ever be, right? So I think a little bit different, but whether you're building the brand, I also have the brand I am Johnny Mo, right? So I do have that individual brand. So you do have to position yourself as a leader, I say community leader, but you also have to have the end in mind. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Are you just going to put out stuff mindlessly? You need
Hmm.
systems, you need kind of a roadmap on what the end goal looks like for you. Start with the end in mind and come backwards. But everybody in the very beginning, what would you say everybody needs in the very beginning to start to build their brand?
In the very beginning, to start to build their brand, a
Do it.
logo and a website. No. I mean, I don't know, man. What do you say?
I would say the
Because
very
I
first
can think
thing
of a million things.
The very first thing that anybody needs, okay, they give you a business card. I probably have 10 of them not with me or anywhere around here because most of what I do now is digital. Is your business card. They give you a business card so people know who you are, right? It gives you that
Right.
validation, I am who I say. However, business cards get lost, they bulk up in your pocket, these other reasons. I think everything that one should be doing is digital. You need a website in order to run ads. You need a website in order to contact more. You need a website to be able to tell your story. You need a website for people to be able to contact you. And that's how I do everything now. There is three ways I can work with somebody. And on my main page, it has the three ways we can work with each other. And are you interested in expansion? Click on this one. Are you interested in the community leaders program? Click on this one. Are you interested in Explore Main Line or are you interested in Explore My Town? Click on this one. I also have two other ones which are training systems and my real estate stuff. So there's really five, but there's three main ones that I'm out there in the general public. My goal is to drive people to these websites so they can get the information that they need. They can schedule an appointment or they can message me, and that's the end of it. I'm not leading them to a place. If they leave, then they leave. But when they're there, they have two options: schedule an appointment with me, learn more, or send me a message. Right. So that's, I think, the very first part in starting to build a brand is to be able to start to develop your digital assets.
Sure thing. Kind of like right, to the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine like there has to be some way that a person who is looking for your services or is looking to have a conversation about it, which a lot of people love talking about real estate, man. Um, just just because it makes them feel good, right? It's a fun thing to talk about. It's one of the easiest things to talk about when you don't have like $1 million, right? And everybody knows that they're making money on their home right now. So it's definitely something that you want to be able to have an interface for, so that if they do want to have a conversation with you, hey, like one of my favorite things, Johnny, is what we've been working on, with the V cards, the referral cards that we got going on,
Yeah.
is the fact that at this point, if somebody, like you said, man, after COVID, my business card, it's a dope business card, man. Look how thick that is. That's thick, right? I love it. It's soft, right? People love my business card. But after COVID, nobody wants to hand out things. Nobody wants to touch things that are unnecessary. At least that's been my experience. And these cards are too expensive for me to just leave them in a in a showing. That's my opinion, anyways. But the digital business card, if somebody asks you for anything, all you have to do is pull it up on your phone and have them put their phone number in it, and then the automations take over. Or you can ask them for their contact information and put it into a form that you have saved on your desktop, and you don't have to worry about anything else, right? Uh, then you just let either the automation or your plans take over, or if you're a very diligent person and you like doing things manually and you have a checklist, more power to you. I tried. I have like 15 journals that I bought this year that are 2 or 3 pages, and then the rest is just the kids scribbling on them. But anyways, yeah, dude.
Yeah. That's what I think. I think let's talk about that referral cards for a minute. Is referral cards is a product that we're getting ready to launch, and it's similar to a link tree where you can put the contact information in there. And I've been preaching the 9-point distribution plan. That's something that we follow at Explore My Town and the Community Leaders Program. And part of that is having something like a link tree or a Hello Me or any of these others. I decided none of them did what I wanted to the capacity that I wanted, so we created our own. And now you can drive people to a particular place, and we simplify the online communication. Now most people are running around that have one. Now I'm saying, why do we need one? What if you work in 2 states? What if you are also involved in this or community outreach or giving back? You want to be able to have everybody land to one place and say, what do you want? Bang, bang, bang. They click on it, brings it over to another place. And again, this is a funnel. You're qualifying the person as they go through, because as they're clicking, that's the qualifying measure. Okay?
Right.
Because if they just got out of it, you can have pixels on these things for retargeting. You can get as crazy as you want. You can have scan codes, so you can drive people through mailers. You can have them on your phone, say scan that. There's all sorts of different things you can do, and that's what referral cards allows you to do. And you can build bunches of them, so you can build one for a friend if you really want, but it's cheap enough
Right.
that they can sign up. But now all of a
That's
sudden,
yeah.
I collect your traffic cop, all your information is going, you're driving everything to one place. And what I find, I love simplifying online communication. I love that saying, because as real estate agents, as professionals, we're always chasing the most shiniest object, and that is what I call leads, right? A new lead, new
Right.
lead, new lead. And that's where you should be, because the large portion of your job is a salesperson. So you should be out
Right.
there as the salesperson. But you want to be able to streamline that communication, so when the leads reach out to you, they've already been through the process and they know all about you. And for instance, I got an email from somebody just recently, or a text message. I don't even recall. I'd have to look at my notes. We're going to be out there on the 30th and 31st. I'm an editor in LA, and I'm moving home. Can you help? Here's our price range. Up to 1.5 million. Yeah, I'm available. I'll clear my schedule for you, right? I didn't do anything. And then when I got the list of properties that are interested, I went on, I fired up Loom. I went through each property, looked at the GIS map, and the guy's like, and you're able to make that personal connection. And the guy's like, I knew I picked, he goes, you're the right person for the job. Thank you for that. And so it might not be an immediate sale within the year, though. So my goal is simple. I'm not looking to set the world on fire anymore, Luigi. 5 million
Right.
a year in production dollars, that gives me a great life, because I have other businesses that I'm working on and building, right?
Right.
Well, if I sell a house for, I'm 20% there on this one sale.
I hear you, man, and it's a good
Um,
goal, and it's one of the things, Johnny, and I've talked to you about this in private, is like when I started real estate, I had a big issue with like everybody wanting to sell to real estate agents, right? Like, so trying to get them to do things and spend money that they didn't really need to. I would consider myself a shiny object connoisseur for really that reason, man. I've jumped around apps and CRMs and mail systems and SMS systems and calendars and all this other stuff. And it's just so much out there to get caught up on. So when we when we finally settled on our goal of simplifying that communication, the online simplifying the human connection, and just being able to reach out to partners that you have, reach out to the people that support you, that are like your number one fans, that everybody has number one fans. You know that, Johnny? And those are the people who sometimes don't get the most attention, but they're the ones who should, right? And these are the kind of things that I think people are moving towards in business. So like you said, a lot of our job is sales, right? And I accepted that I am a salesperson. And a lot of people don't want to be salespeople, and that's completely fine because I understand where
That's
they're
me.
coming from.
That's
Yep.
me.
Because I understand where you come. Because and see, Johnny, that's the thing, dude. So I love data, right? And one of the things that we nerd, one of the things that we learned is, or that I learned, is that real estate agents are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to respect, right? As far as like industry, we're below or really close to being car salesmen. And nothing against car salesmen at all, dude, at all. But car salespeople are not fiduciaries, right? We are. I don't care if you're a realtor or not. Real estate agents are fiduciary, and that means that we have a responsibility to our clients, and that responsibility to our clients is not something that we've been putting at the forefront as an industry, in my opinion, at least since I've been in it. And I think that that's going to change. And I think that measures and tools like referral cards and people like you, Johnny, who have been talking about community and have been talking about building partnerships and giving to the community and charity work. And, not everybody's got the time or the energy to be out there, but if you have the money, that works too, right? You find the way that you can serve and you serve. And I think that's where we're at now, man. Because honestly, like you said, dude, I just want to sell a few houses a year if I can. I want to get some awesome agents to come and learn about the brokerage that I'm with. Just like I believe that there are people that should learn about the brokerage you're with you, Johnny.
Hmm.
I believe that there's going to be a lot more people looking for people like us, man. People that care about the people that they're around and care about what they're doing and that they're actually succeeding, right? Because we both might, right? I guess you've said it before. I'd rather cry in a Lambo, right?
Not me. I'd rather cry in a
I, I'd
car.
rather I'd rather cry I'd rather cry in a nice sports car than on the side of the road. I'm
Oh,
not.
same.
But money isn't for me isn't the biggest deal, and I know it's not for you either, dude. And that's the thing is like at this point, it's not sales anymore. It really is. People know what they want, right? A house can sell itself. They don't always have the confidence. They don't always have the know-how. They don't always know how to put A to Z, right? They don't know what steps to take, and that's where we come in. And when we set aside our need to be right and our need for money, paycheck, what do they call it? Commission breath, right? You do a great job, and it just flows, dude. It just flows. Everything comes to you, and the people who you serve best will tell other people about you, and that's when it starts coming in. Um, Everything I've ever learned up to this point says that your database is your number one asset.
For sure. For sure.
And
And you're
I,
most
I think
neglected.
the most neglected, absolutely.
Yeah. And you only have to look at the NAR stats, right? The generational trends report that they put out every year around what's three, March? They put it around mid-March, they put it out. The generational trends report every year it comes out, and it's always 67% of buyers, 73, 74% of sellers knew their agent, worked with them previously, was a friend, family member, or neighbor, or was referred to them somehow, relocation or another agent. Okay, so to me, everybody's chasing, and when you start to look at online leads is way down on the bottom of the list. Yet that's where everybody's spending the most amount of time,
It's
right?
easy.
I'm not saying
Hmm.
that's bad. And this is where a system is important, and this is where a digital system, and this is where follow up is important.
The most
Um,
important.
First of all, you got to as you're building your brand, you need a place for them to land so they can learn about you, what your value prop is. Because with 1.5 million real estate agents who are all worth their fee, what's the determining factor, right? And so I forget what the stat is, but it's a high number of people go with the first agent they meet.
I think it was like 80, 70 something percent,
That's what
70,
I'm
80
saying.
percent.
It's high. So I want to
Yeah, it's
meet you
crazy.
first. And I'm not talking about the physical interaction. That'll come later. The parasocial relationship is real. It's real. And that's what people are seeing you and watching you online. And now all of a sudden
Mhm.
they land on your digital asset that tells you a story. Is it another, I can help you sell, I can help you buy canned website? Then cool, that's your business.
Honey,
But
stop the car.
right?
Sorry.
But building your brand as somebody lands on your website, they can see what your core values are, and this is part of your strategy. And this is to be able to tell them about what you do. I have multiple things that I do. I have me, right? I have Explore My Town. I have Evolution Media Group. That has trainings and everything else like that. I got the Community Leaders training program. I have EXP Expansion. Each one of
Hmm.
these needs its own little web page so you can go there and see what the vision is, what I'm talking about is, what the offer is. Okay?
Hmm.
We can't be afraid to this is what I offer, right? Because too many people are out there saying, I'll work with anybody and everyone. So if
Right.
you are out there in the digital world, it only makes sense for you to become digital. And I know a lot of people, I'm going to get metaphorical right now. I know a lot of people are, thinking they're going to get these Oculists and welcome to the meta world. The meta world exists now, and you don't need anything for it. It's all online. So your
Right.
online brand, your online avatar, the online you has to exist. But most people are approaching it with only their company provided, their brokerage provided CRM, and they're trying to make that work. Where what you offer and what we've worked together over the past month and a half to put together is an ecosystem where each individual has their own instance. And when I get a message that comes in, I know it's from this website. When I get a message that comes
Hmm.
in, I know it's from this website. And now each one of these has their own pixels, so my digital marketing team can do their magic and market this way to this one and market this way to this one. But
Right.
my brands are all online. Johnny Mo brand, I work with entrepreneurs. I can help you here and here, right?
Hmm.
That's it. These are the two places where I want to help you. If you don't fit into these two, I can't help you. I'm okay with that. But when you
Right.
land on my website, iamjohnnymo.com, everything you need to know about me is there. Every which way we can work together is there. You pick which one works for you, and it's going to drive you to the end where you have two options: schedule an appointment or send me a message.
Right.
That's it. And that's what I want.
And I think one of the coolest parts about that, Johnny, is it's broker agnostic, right? Like when you own your own assets, you can take that with you anywhere. Not just that, man, but one of the things that I've been really looking at and thinking about, because we do have a lot of real estate agents that are retiring out of not just the business but the workforce, right? If anybody is, if anyone's ever heard of Ray Dalio, he has a book. It is called, it slips my mind right now, so not to take any longer, look up Ray Dalio. He said that by 2037, the baby boomer generation, the last of them will turn 70 years old and they'll be out of the workforce. So this creates a lot of opportunity for Gen Z, for Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, right? Uh, right now, millennials and Gen Z are the up and coming real estate agents. According to NAR stats, the gap is between like agents that are 6 7 years and agents that have been in the game for 12 and plus years, right? So there's a gap there, and this is going to start, in my opinion, converging the need for personality and personability. I don't know if that's the word, but being personable,
No.
right, with technology. um, Technology should never replace people. And I know that you have this issue with AI. I love AI. I think as a for someone with ADHD, AI lets me do all the things that I've ever wanted to do just by telling it to do it, right? But it should never replace me as the human because I have a heart. AI can never have that, right? And it's not just that romantic woohoo, I have the ability to set myself aside for what's right. And not that a computer can't do that, but a computer's not going to do it unless it's told. and that's where I think people differ from computers. Um, so I really love what we have going on, Johnny. I love what we're building. I love working with people who are excited about the future because, especially since COVID, man, I know that loneliness has been a big factor in what a lot of people have been doing, recently, the relationships that they're trying to build, the changes that they're trying to make in their lives, things like that. So I believe that, if you're selling real estate or if you're in any kind of business, you're going to want to put yourself out there and be the
Well,
one that kind of is the face of your brands, in my opinion.
listen, I'm going to touch. I'm going to go deep on something that you touched on, and I think people need to hear this, and if they already know it, they need to hear it again. But before I do that, loneliness is real for a lot of people. Um, as somebody that's lives alone, no cats, no dogs, first time in 51 years, I love it, but in the very beginning of it, it's hard, right? Because you have these things. That's why they've invented the AI girlfriend, where you can text your AI girlfriend and she'll text you back. We live in a really weird world. I don't even want to subscribe to that, okay? But moving on, the
We don't
biggest
have pillow
opportunity
girlfriends.
out there, if you're listening to this, the biggest opportunity out there right now is not today, it's not tomorrow, it's next week. Okay, and what I
Yeah.
mean by that is just as the metaphor is the future. Because if you follow the 1990 rule, and you can Google the 1990 rule, and Tristan Hamuda taught me the 1990 rule, and somebody taught him who has this like million person following. So I'll take their advice on this because they're beating me. And Gary Vee says only take advice from people who are beating you. So, okay. Um, the 1990 rule, 1% of people create content, 9% engaged, 90% lurk. Now, when we're talking about national influence, they're trying to build this national thing. You're not, you're trying to build this local thing. For most instances, if you're trying to grow a national expansion team, that's different. I'm talking about the average real estate agent who needs to sell locally. You
Hmm.
can produce content locally on the same scale as Gary Vee. He's got a whole team and everything creating all this content because he's got to go national because he's trying to hit 3 million people. Well, you're not. You're trying to hit 650,000. So the amount of content you need to do shrinks dramatically. And you can get away with doing two, three, four pieces of short form a week, one long form per, maybe two or three long form per month. Turn those into blogs, get those out there. But the biggest opportunity for you right now is Gen Z and millennial buyers, because Gen Z, after Gen Z is the largest generation. Then millennials, baby boomers and stuff, they're kicking off by the dozen at this point, and they are all going to expire at some point. The Gen Z and millennials. My daughter's 23. She starts her classes today to get her license.
Yep.
Why? Because all of her friends are going to be buying in the next 10 years, God
Hmm.
willing, if interest rates come down, and they
Yeah,
become
it'll
affordable.
work out.
So if you're not, this is why Zillow won. Zillow didn't win for any other reason. This, in my opinion, Zillow won the consumer. Zillow changed consumer behavior,
Hmm.
and I was doing the same thing at the time. Not saying I'm a trendsetter by any imagination. I don't believe in forced registration.
Yep.
I want to
Gatekeeping
give
is
you all the
okay.
information. When you're ready, reach out to me.
Hmm.
I don't need another Tom's Dick 101 at AOL.com email. I just don't. You know what I mean? I have a Biggins at AOL.com. I have a Biggins at Hotmail.com. I don't need another one of those. I want to
I
get the
kept my
email. I want to
FU.
get the email that says, "Hey, I like your stuff. I'm doing this. Can you help?" Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And that's, I think, that's part of the whole brand building thing. That's the whole thing about putting the assets in place. But that's also the whole thing of having mind share of what's going on in the market. Because with these tools, you can take over mind share. We're going to get into this next week, but the system that you have built and you use can help you with your reputation management, help you get
Hmm.
reviews. It can help you in so many ways. How does somebody
Well,
find out about that? Because we're running out of time here.
so it's gonna start rolling out. We have so the main website is the Agent Base. It's my new company that I started after 2020. I had a really bad burnout. I had the best year of my life though. and I was able to invest money into some awesome people and awesome stocks and awesome tools. And what came out of it was the agent base, and it's really it's part software platform, part service that has to do with AI automation, building out key systems and processes so that all you have to do is focus on real estate. And I think that that's going to help a lot of the people because, dude, there's so much. There is so much. When I burned out, it was because I did not have the scaffolding, I did not have the support system to do that much work. I thought I was going to be okay running off of memory and running off of, thinking about it. And still today, man, I have a challenge even with the technology because, I try my best and I do what I can for my ADHD, but I have good days and bad days. Um, but it helps a lot knowing that I'm dropping the ball a lot less and letting things slip. And I wanted to share that with everybody, and especially you, Johnny, because personally, with me and you working on succeed. But at the end of the day, I really think that people just need to focus, especially, I'm sorry, not people, but if you're selling real estate and you want to focus on business, it's capturing, nurturing, and closing for appointment is necessary, right? So you need a system that can do that. And then as a real estate agent, you're also having to worry about your listing appointment or your buyer appointment where you go and you have to get them to sign a contract. And then you have to worry about actually marketing your listing, right? Or doing your showings. And then you have to worry about your contract to close, right? And if you're involving an admin or a closing coordinator or something like that, you have to make sure that everybody's on the same page, right? And then you have to do, which is something that nobody really does, Johnny, which is why a lot of sellers know agents but don't call them back, post-close follow-up, right? Real database reactivation. If you have leads that haven't been touched, that you forgot about, hit them up, touch them. Say, hey, are you still interested in selling? Are you still interested in buying? If they say no, good. But if they say, wait, well, actually, you know what? It's been a while, but yeah, you never know until you try.
Database re-engagement is powerful, and if they go to theagentbase.com, they can learn about you and what you do, and they can start to get these automations going in place, right?
That's
They
right.
can start to get some of these things going to help them in their digital world because real estate agents are I'm going to say something. Y'all can get mad at me all you want, but it's true. Real estate agents are the first ones to say, I'm worth my fee. Well, I'll fix my sink myself. I'm not paying the plumber. I'll
Guilty.
edit my video myself. I'm not paying the editor. I'm going to do that myself. I'm not paying somebody. Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe we should all have the basic skill and understanding because that's what makes us an effective manager. But your
Right.
highest and best use of time isn't being that integrator.
Right.
Because I can promise you, you won't do it as good. It's just, I don't want cheap is the wrong word. Some people just don't have the money or the funds to do it. But your time, your highest and best amount of time, highest and best use of time is with appointments or facilitating appointments. That's it. That's your highest and best use of time is facilitating the next one in the door, facilitating the next one on the contract,
Right.
facilitating the next one to close, and or depending on your model, bringing people in to grow that next level, right? And to
Right.
help you and to leverage, because that's where leverage starts to come in. So I think real estate agents, when we're figuring out what our brand is, you have to determine: am I going to be a real estate salesperson, or am I going to be a real estate sales team leader? Because those two, you can call them brokers, team, whatever you want to
Sure.
call them. Are you going to be a salesperson, a manager slash leader? The manager slash leader opens offices, opens expansions, and things like that. The real estate agent sells real estate.
Mm-hmm.
To determine which one you are, there's a unique set of tools that comes with each, or that each needs. Get the tools and perform.
Yep.
That's it. And then come in every single day and do your rhythm. If your rhythm is to make 20 phone calls a day, come in and make 20 phone calls a day. If you have your
Hmm.
system set up and you say, I'm going to launch that reactivation campaign, come in, okay, clear your schedule because you're going to get text messages, you're going to get emails, and you're going to get phone calls,
Right.
right? So
Right.
come in, do your rhythms every single day. This business is not hard. I don't care what anybody tries to convince me. It's not hard. You just it's redundant is what it is.
That's the hard part.
That's
People get
the hard
bored.
part is doing the same damn thing every day because we know that it sucks. But it ain't hard to pick up the phone. It's awkward. It's uncomfortable. It ain't
Right.
physically hard. You know what's physically hard? Moving forms, like concrete forms. Yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
move those. That looks heavy.
I used to crawl in attics, man, doing cable for Bright House. It's not fun coming across giant spiders, right? We don't have to worry about that as real estate agents. So, but yeah, Johnny, I've had a really good conversation today, man. It's been a while since I've been on video, so I appreciate the invite, and I'm looking forward to doing this. At least every week, right? For as long as I can try. But I'm really looking forward to helping everybody who's watching, anybody who is interested in either the agent base or anything that Johnny or I have to offer, even if it's just a an ear to listen to, right? Let me know. Let Johnny. We're here to help, and I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day and a great week, Johnny.
Thank you. And you can find us. I'm gonna throw a couple things out there. Go
Yep.
to realestatecommunityleaders.com. You can get in touch with me. Go on Facebook. Go to the Real Estate Community Leaders Facebook group. You can join the group and get in touch with us. Right? Luigi's in there too. You can go to I am Johnny Mo. That'll lead you to wherever you need to go. And you can
Mm-hmm.
go to connect directly with Luigi. Go to theagentbase.com. Anyways, Luigi, thank you for being here. I can't wait to continue our conversation. We're going to have lots of conversations about AIs and automations. We're going to bring in some other guests who are experts in these fields. Heck, we'll even talk about SEO and some other things that'll blow your mind because there's some things. Here's the deal, by the time we know about it, it's already been worked on for 2 or 3 years. We'll bring in some guests who are working on tomorrow's technology today. And so
Love it.
keep around, follow us, shoot us a message, like us, do whatever you can do. And we will be here next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Actually, we won't be here next week because I have a doctor's
Nope.
appointment and I'm selling $1.5 million homes. But we'll be here the week after. Anyways, y'all, peace out. Luigi, thanks for being here.
Later, bro.